my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, we are going to review, it's my pick, and I thought, you know what, we've never done this movie. I mean, honestly, I've got about 30 movies on a list here, which every time I look at them, I'm like, oh, I'm not picking that. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet. I've got to pick it. So this was a movie I rented out numerous times. It was on UK TV on a loop, basically. Honestly, it was one of the movies that I loved. And obviously, it stars one of my favourite actors from the 80s as well, in my favourite movie franchise as well. Let's truth be told. So, Dave, we go back to 1985. This one stars Jay Tarzes, Jerry Levine, Susan Ursetti, or Ursetti, something like that, Scott Palin, James Hampton, but more importantly, Mr. Michael J. Fox. We are going to review in Teen Wolf. So, Dave, I know we're going to have stories about this, but do you remember the first time you watched this one?
I mean, not the first time, but I do remember the same kind of feelings as you. I mean, Back to the Future was the thing that propelled Michael J. Fox onto the big screen, wasn't it? And I think I had seen him on Family Ties, but I mean, Marty McFly was just one of the most iconic characters for the 80s, wasn't he? And, you know, you're talking bang in the middle of the 80s here. So you'd have been, what, about 7 or something? I'd have been about 9. And it was just the perfect time for this sort of movie. And I remember Teen Wolf came out after. Weirdly, this was all shot before, wasn't it?
Yes.
And a clever bit of marketing, I guess, because this is a small little indie movie, and basically because they knew, so it was actually filming almost side by side, right? So they were filming this one alongside the Eric Stoltz Back to the Future. So, you know, he did this one and then obviously went and filmed Back to the Future, and then someone at whoever owned the rights or anything, like, just hold on to this, don't release it yet. Right, let Back to the Future come out, and then we'll hit them with Teen Wolf as well. What a masterful move, to be quite honest. So, yeah, and yeah, I was in one of those little Scotch tapes, you know, in the fancy, you know, as working class people, we like to pretend we're fancy with these fake leather cases with gold writing. It was in there, and yeah, this was definitely in the rotation. I absolutely loved this movie at the time, and again, I think having that distaste as well for watching horror movies and being scared shitless with things like Freddy Krueger and Friday the 13th and stuff like that. And, you know, you had to hold the old Hammer horror movies as well, didn't you? And you could see the effects, the way they did the Wolfman and Dracula and everything. And so, you know, for me, horror was definitely in this space where, you know, I didn't want to necessarily go there. So this was the first time I'd seen anything which was like making a bit of fun out of horror. You know, I say horror, but, you know, the werewolves are generally considered part of the horror genre. And this was the first thing that kind of mashed that up. And I just remember, you know, I think I'd seen the trailer a few times even before watching the movie. And all the same bits, like where he orders a keg of beer, you know, where he's got the red eyes and stuff, where he's going through the changes. I mean, again, I don't think I even knew what puberty was when I was watching this. And so watching it now, I'm like, oh, this is right fucking smack on your nose all about puberty, isn't it? Right, I get it now. But yeah, I like I say, absolutely loved it. I mean, how about yourself, Chris?
Yeah, same for me, Dave. Complete rotation from the video shop. We always used to get it. Then obviously it was on TV. I think I maybe even had a VHS copy of it. I probably an ITV special, this one. But just constantly watched it. And again, it felt like if I didn't get enough like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future, I had Teen Wolf as a backup. Like you, absolutely loved this movie. Even the second one, which I know is pretty terrible. I've not watched that for years, but I've rented the second one out a few times. It was quite easy to get the second one in the video shop over the first one. And when you watch it back, it's Jason Bateman. There's a reason why, Dave, because it's absolutely terrible. But I would sort of like to watch that to see how bad it is, because I believe Michael J. Fox just didn't want to come back for this movie. He hated this movie, which is surprising. But you're right, there's so many similarities. And even looking at the trivia, George McFly's house is in it. It's the same lot that they used for the 1950s Back to the Future thing. It's the same. There's loads of things. Even the school looks similar, that, Scott's in and that. So I think it felt very familiar. And even reading some stuff in a lot of countries, they changed his name to Marty in the movie, Dave. It was just like the foreign countries, because it's like the boy from the future, they called it, instead of Teen Wolf. So yeah. I think it's like they were capitalizing on the back of everything. And obviously the story goes, we know this when we've done Back to the Future, is he was doing Family Ties in the day and Back to the Future at night. He was double shifting to get this done after the other adults got replaced by him. So I love this, and I've wanted to do this from the minute we done the VHS Strike Back. It's been on the list, and I'm like, do I go back to it? Is this gonna, 41 years later, I finished at 31 days before only, 41 years later, I'm sort of like, is this gonna stand up? And I've been proper scared about watching this, and I only watched it yesterday as we record this, because I was like, I don't want to watch it. It's going to be shit. But yeah, so I'm really interested to talk. But before we get into our trailer, Dave, which I've just realised I've not even looked at what we're doing in the trailer. It is actually your birthday today, Dave. So happy birthday, my friend, and anyone listening. Dave is at the milestone. He is literally going to pick his bus pass up later on. He would expect me to give him shit, nothing less, as I would expect it from him. And yeah, he is actually. What did you give me a bit of trivia before, Dave?
Yeah, cheers for that. I thought I'd mention it off podcast, but as soon as you put me on the spot there, the dad, so Michael J. Fox plays Scott Howard. The dad, Harold, is played by James Hampton. And yeah,
Harold Horrocks.
And I looked at as I do sometimes, how old was he? Because I'm watching this and I'm thinking, he looks really old, but I've got teenagers as well. So, like, how does he stack up? Yeah, he's 49 when this came out. So he's actually fucking younger than me right now.
I'm clicking the piss. I know I always poke fun at the fact there's a couple in between us, and you do look miles younger than him, Dave. But I looked at something today, actually, come about ages about people, in like films and TV. And John Ford, who's fucking always looked like he was about 80 when I did even the Sweeney. He's like 40 when he started that. And I'm like, he looks older than my fucking granddad. And he was 78 when he passed away. He looks so old. But he was 47 when he started on UK TV, Dave. And I'm thinking, fuck off, I'm 47. Harold Bishop was 47 when he started in Neighbours. And I'm like, fuck off. That is horrendous. He always looks about 60. I mean, he was Luke Carpenter to say he was actually 35 when he was in there, because he always looked old. But
you're going to tell me like Mrs. Mangle was 39 or something?
Both the same thing, just say James in Carry On Camping or something. And he looked like a 30-year-old fucking man, didn't he, Dave? So come on. So, welcome to the 50s, my friend. No, but to be fair, mate, honestly, I hope it's a great day. We had so much fun over these last 6-7 years doing this podcast. And we were talking off podcast what our ideal day would be. And basically, stay in pajamas, eat a load of shit, play a load of computer games, and just be left alone, Dave. That's exactly what we want to fucking do as you get older. Love it.
Absolutely. I might occasionally shake my fist at the cloud.
Shake your cock, then, Dave.
Get off my lawn. Shout at some kids outside or something. So, what a great day. Anyway, Chris, on that bombshell, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
In a quiet American town, where high school is everything.
And the basketball team is so bad, they take help from literally anything. Isn't that right, Doc? I have to throw the doc in because nobody's going to know what I'm trying to go for here, Dave.
I'm just going to clarify it as well. This is young Michael J. Fox, by the way.
Meet Scott Howard, average student, average athlete. and about to discover he's got a bit more going on than puberty. Because Scott is becoming something different. Some took me out, right? Hairier, louder, much more confident for no clear reason. This sounds nothing like him. Carry on. A teenage werewolf, which apparently is great for your jump shot. Suddenly, he's popular, successful, unstoppable. Turns out all you need to succeed in high school is supernatural privilege. But fame comes at a fair price. Mostly that now everyone expects you to dunk like a wolf. As Scott struggles with who he really is, he learns that the most important lesson of all: be yourself. Unleash yourself as rubbish at basketball, in which case, absolutely be the wolf. Great Scott, Marty. Teen Wolf. Puberty with a soundtrack and significantly more fur. This year, embrace who you are. 1.21 gigawatts, even if it's legally concerning.
Scott Howard, a 17-year-old high school student, lives in a small town in Nebraska. His only claim to popularity is playing for the Beavers.
I love a beaver.
Yeah. Nice beaver. Thanks, I just had it stuffed. His only claim to popularity is playing for the Beavers, his school's unsuccessful basketball team. Scott fawns after Pamela, even though she is dating his rival Mick, who plays for the Dragons, a dominant opposing team that bullies him on court. He's also oblivious to the affections of his childhood friend, Boof. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Dave, I've got a problem with Boof. What the fuck is that name? I believe it's something to do with the director's first girlfriend or someone's producer's first girlfriend. That's the name. She was called Boof, apparently. But that name just takes me out through the whole movie. She's Italian, isn't she? And played an Italian in it. You know, the actress, Susan City. But fuck me. Why don't you just call her Lisa? Her name's Lisa Marconi, but they come with Boof. It takes me out every time they say Boof in it. However, this was my pick. This is a movie I absolutely loved and wanted to come back to. The VHS cover is so iconic with Michael J. Fox there pulling his shirt open and that. This movie is fucking shit, Dave. This is absolutely terrible. It sits at 25% of Rotten Tomatoes. We were starved of good movies when we were kids at time. This movie is fucking terrible. I mean, Michael J. Fox is 5 foot and he's a fucking point guard in basketball. He cannot do anything. He's tiny. And I mean, it runs at 92 minutes, which is perfect, let's be honest. But everyone is so old in this movie. Mick's 27 in real life, Dave. Pamela's 25. They're all mid-20s. Even Styles, he looks about 35. Him and Mick look like mid-30s, don't they? But the whole basketball thing at the start, you've got the big guy, Chubbs, who, let's be honest, they're not fucking calling him that now. He's got all the fucking food in his pocket.
It's like the Star Wars guy, Porkins.
Oh, it's fucking terrible, isn't it? It's fucking terrible. But they are, they're just like, it's so bad and so unbelievable that Michael J. Fox will play basketball and, you know, Scott. And I didn't remember it getting in so quickly. It is though, isn't it, Dave? Let's be honest. He's fucking tiny. He's not doing anything.
I'm laughing because the film is about him turning into a werewolf, but the most unbelievable thing is his position in basketball.
That's a good point. He's just shit. I mean, it comes in straight away, and within the first part of the game, there's no context to him sort of building up to being a wolf. He just gets aggressive with Mick, doesn't he, and takes the ball off him. And you're like, okay. And I as a kid, I thought there was a bit more of a literally layup day there, basketball. I thought there was more context to him, you know, like little things happening. And we get straight into it, but I just feel like there's literally, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted another half hour, but there's at least half an hour's worth of context for the characters that is completely missed. And it does feel like he's just playing. Maybe Michael J. Fox played the same part, which he probably did a lot of his movies. But I think because Back to the Future came first, even though it was filmed before it, it just feels like it's Marty McFly, doesn't it, Dave? I don't think he's not really doing anything different than just playing the same character he does in all these movies. And I think he's not a nice character either, Scott, I don't think. I don't think there's times in it where I think it's supposed to be about his character, but I don't think it starts strong. And I know I've waffled for a bit, but fuck me, it's a bad movie, this one. It is really, really, really underwhelming from where I thought I would score this or enjoy it.
So I came into it suspecting that it might not hold up as well as it does in my memory. I think watching this at the time that we watched it in the mid-80s, it's like the perfect movie. You're fairly innocent. I mean, you're probably a couple of years away from being more into Lethal Weapons. But at this time, to watch this sort of really just innocent, fun, light-hearted movie, I think it's the perfect time to catch us. I wonder, if we were a bit older at that time, would we have enjoyed it and had such fond memories of it? Probably not. And I guess so I thought it probably wasn't great. And I think even when we watched the trailer last week, I was thinking, I think this might just be a one-note film. Like, that's the joke. He's a werewolf and everything rotates around that. Mind you, I mean, there's series about it. I've never watched it, but, clearly there's a lot of people who think fondly about this whole franchise. But yeah, it is not good. I will say $4 million budget. So I think for that, they've done quite well out of it. I think the werewolf effects are pretty good. I always, like to see the practical effects more. And I think they hold up so much better than when, you get into the late 90s and 2000s when they're starting to play around with CGI a lot more. And so, yeah, I like that bit. But what took me by surprise a little bit is just how small the story is. I mean, even in Karate Kid, right? It's across the whole valley. It's different martial arts schools from across the region. This is literally different basketball teams at school. And for us, watching it in Northern England at the time, for me, it was so exotic. It was so shining. You got like cheerleaders there and everything, and you got people watching the games. And, at our school, it's like playing about a bit of five-a-side with a fucking football that's probably got half of the leather patches ripped off it. It was just such a different world. And I think you're absolutely right. I think he is Marty McFly, to be quite honest, but not quite as endearing as Marty McFly. I think he's a bit of a tool at times in this movie, but broadly, that's all he is. And it wasn't great. The actress, so Booth, again, I think it's a terrible choice of a character name, or like play name or whatever. But she reminds me of I can't remember the actress's name, but her out of Gremlins. That same kind of bob haircut. I think it was obviously popular around the mid 80s. And yeah, I was just surprised how small it was, and the fact that they didn't really work that hard to make them out like, a really good basketball team. It literally does look like basketball at high school level.
It does, doesn't it? And they said that in some of the trivia. It says like there's about half an hour's worth of basketball because Michael J. Fox was like, let's just play organically, because they had like the guy who plays the Wolf was like a college basketball player, like really good level. And it was like, no, let's not do that ever again, because apparently they were all terrible. But I think like you're right, the stuff with Booth, that so Styles is just a bellend, and he's his mate, supposed to be a hit mate. We've seen
he's like a Timu Judd Nelson, isn't he? We did Breakfast Club a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he is. He's like the life and soul of everything. And I mean, calling himself Styles is an 80s thing, definitely. And he gets on top of the van, doesn't he? And he's doing the whole Beach Boys bit. And he's
These waves are mine. I do remember that bit.
I always wanted to do that, Dave. I don't know if you're the same. It was like one of my things about the movie. But then when they're trying to get the keg of beer, and it happens so quickly, doesn't it? The old bloke sat there reading his paper, and he's like chatting away, and he's got a cig in his mouth, Styles. And he's like, yeah, the boss wants this. It's blah, blah. And he's like, you got ID? No. And then they send fucking Scott in, who looks about 12 anyway. And he's there. And obviously he just does the whole red eye thing, doesn't he? Like, give me a keg of beer. And instead of the cop going, no, a cop, the guy in the shop going, I'm just going to ring the police. He gives him a keg of beer. It's just, there's loads of things.
I hate that voice effect as well.
I do. I think it's fucking terrible. I mean, his dad pisses me off though, Dave, because his dad's just, Harold, what name, runs the fucking hardware store. Scott's like, yeah, I want to be somewhere else. I don't want to be in the hardware store. And Bush's like, your dad's really a great guy. And there's a bit later on, why the fuck's he playing basketball with her, Dave? What is going on there? Harold, when they were doing that one-on-one game, he's like, I used to have a few fucking games with Booth here. It's like, she's a teenage girl. Is there something going on here? We need to talk about Harold.
Harold is... He does hang around. He does hang around the school quite a lot because, when the headmaster's, about to expel Marty, and I will call him Marty or Scott, and then Harold just fucking appears. It's like, what, were you just fucking wandering around the school with you?
In his suit as well, Dave. He's got a suit on and everything, and he's like, dressed up about him. But his dad's weird. He's playing basketball with her. And I'm like, but the energy's off. The energy feels like he's sort of trying it on as if to say, yeah, she's really nice, Booth, and all this. I'm like,
would you like some sweeties?
Yeah. I've got a hardware store. Would you like to see my wrench? You know what I mean? Imagine me or you, like we're the same age. If I was like he was my, Jordan's mates or someone, I'm playing basketball with him or something, or let's have a game of heads and volleys. It's just be fucking weird for us. It'd be football, wouldn't it? But it's just be fucking weird, wouldn't it? But I think like he goes after that Pamela, and she's good looking. The blonde girl, she's good looking, and as a kid, like that's that scene in the play. But she's doing the acting, and she's not a great actress anyway. But when she's doing the whole Southern Belle thing with that guy, and he comes on and he's doing that, like he's got all the hardware stuff and the paint and all the things he needs for his set, and it's the whole sort of like. He's disorganized, and the headmaster, as you say, the headmaster introduced himself, throws the tape at him, and it's sort of like, I've seen this before. I'm not saying he isn't doing a good job, but I sort of get at what we're going at. But Scotty's like, I mean, to be fair, he's got bollocks because he tries it on with Pamela a couple of times, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, well, do you fancy going with me? I've got a van. She's like, no, I've got a fucking 40-year-old bloke who's pretending to be 17 at school. Why would I want some school kid? He's got a receding hairline and a fucking cleft fucking chin. He's fucking fine. Don't you worry about that. Fucking ridiculous.
It reminds me of the guy, the instructor at No Retreat, No Surrender. He's got exactly the same kind of chiseled jaw and everything. But yeah, I mean, like you say, I think Marty, he does all right with the ladies, doesn't he? In Back to the Future and in Teen Wolf, because he does seem to get the girls. And I'm like, especially when they finish the basketball game and he's sort of playing around, he's got this big long hair coming out of his chest, and I'm like, mate, Michael, you have the body of a small child. He must have been like approaching mid-20s at this point, mustn't he? But he might have just filled out in later years.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I kept thinking, Dave? Right, this is bad. When he's sort of doing the bit of the transformation, so he goes with all of the paint stuff and his hands go all furry, and then at the start of it, he's got the big hair he pulls out of his chest, and there's a few things going on. His ears, when he's with Styles, when he's on the thing in that. It's when he starts talking and his dad, he sort of reveals himself, and his dad's going, Scott Howard, you get out here now, and all this goes, you'd be surprised. So he lays it up. Fuck me. His dad's fucking werewolf outfit. Where did he pull? That's like sort of Fraggle Rock. I mean, Michael J. Fox doesn't look great, but Harold looks like he looks like a fucking munchkin or something, doesn't he? He's got big fucking chubby cheeks. He doesn't look like a werewolf. He looks like the fucking, what they called them fucking toys years ago, the big fucking bouffant hair. The big,
I was thinking like Harry and the Hendersons, or a Yeti or something.
Yeah, he looks like that. But it's when he's talking to going, yeah, there's things you'll have. And I'm thinking, the first thing, how are we doing is fucking look, if I'm changed as well, just looking to see what fucking extra length I've got, Dave. It's just fucking weird, that whole scene, and because he looks nothing like a werewolf. He looks really bad. I know James Hampton hated the makeup. It made him feel claustrophobic, and he only does it twice in the movie, but he looks fucking stupid. And when he walks off, and Scott goes off, and he's walking down the stairs, Harold as the werewolf, I'm just like, this just looks like a fancy dress thing where someone's just got dressed up. It just, honestly, it takes me out every time like that. Well, even when I was a kid, it used to take me out. His dad was never convincing as a werewolf, was he? He's too neighbour next door, I think. I don't think the casting's right of him as his dad at all.
Yeah, far too young as well. No, so it just looks old. See, I think I do enjoy the comedy of that, and I think it's the contrast, isn't it? Because I watched, again, I say I hate horror movies, and I did, but things like American Werewolf in London, I used to watch it, and I used to scare the crap out of myself, but I couldn't stop watching it, and the transformation in that is so painful, it's so well done, as his bones are breaking and reforming and everything, and it looks so painful, and it's obviously this horrifying thing, this horrifying event. So to have it contrast with this, where it's just so mundane, and his dad's just casually like, "Oh yeah, we're werewolves." I was hoping it'd skip a generation, but turns out, it hasn't. I mean, I do think his dad is generally, apart from questionable hang around high schools thing, if we ignore that for a second, he is quite supportive of Scott, but I do think, and I know it's a movie, but I do think you'd hedge your bets as a dad, wouldn't you? You'd be like, well, I hope it skips a generation, but I should maybe just drop these things in there into conversation and say, if things start changing, just let me know, and see how things are going, and I don't know, I just feel like he could have given him a bit of a heads up. Now, it wouldn't have had the same comedy effect, probably, as it just coming out of the blue. But yeah, I thought his dad was derelict of duty there.
Just a little bit. And I mean, talk about his mum. His mum obviously was a werewolf as well, which is interesting. Well, she's obviously died, she's not there. But then it's when the one bit that always gets me, Dave, is when he reveals at the basketball. And they're playing out, they're getting beat again, and he's playing, and he ends up falling, and everyone just piles on him, even his own team. Well, the ref would have blown whistle by now, wouldn't it? That goes on for far too long, doesn't it?
It was good when you used to have a good old piley on. Not if you were at the bottom, but do you remember that at school? Just
all the time. On. Yeah, pile on. Everyone just kills everybody, don't they? One of the bottoms just can't breathe. And if it's like, you broke your fucking chest, your solar plexus. Yeah, but he said it was a good laugh, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm going to A&E.
Just a bit harmless fun.
Yeah. You nearly fucking, I nearly strangled myself because you're all fucking diving on me. I love it. A pylon, a good old pylon, Dave. I've been on the bottom of them many a time and they're not fucking fun. But that bit's just stupid. And then you also get like the Incredible Hulk, like raw, don't you? Get that?
Yeah.
And then everyone jumps up. Booth jumps up. I hate saying that. Booth jumps up. And they're all looking chubs. They're all like, and he just starts, nobody's like, holy shit, what is this hairy thing? Nobody goes, it's a werewolf. They're just sort of like, well, I think you need to get the fucking, was it Victor Kayam, Dave? I like the company so much, I bought it, Remington. He's like, you need to have a shave, pal. And then he just starts playing basketball. There's nothing unusual about this. Honestly, that bit is so unbelievable that it's just that slam dunking from nowhere and everyone just forgives him, don't they? And then this whole Teen Wolf fucking thing. I did like the music montage. That's always memorable. And then obviously Styles being the businessman, he's just got the Teen Wolf gear. But that whole bit is just fucking stupid. It just, again, and Pamela obviously wants a piece of him then, Dave, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, but, and it is ridiculous, right? I mean, he'd be... First of all, everyone would fucking leg it because, it's just a weird thing. A werewolf in pop culture and everything. It's like, you should be legging it out in the sports hall. But the fact that he's also ace at basketball now, he's just brilliant. And everyone just kind of gets on with it. And I know it's ridiculous, but I just love the innocence of the 80s. And, movies and everything have just got more cynical You know, if you made it now, you'd probably have a grittier edge to it. You know, how many times do you have a darker, grittier Batman over the years? You know, every fucking Batman movie gets more dark and grittier. And this is just like, oh yeah, he's a werewolf, and everyone just suddenly thinks he's a fucking legend because he's good at basketball. That is it. And so, you know, I just love the innocence of it, even though I do know it's shit.
Well, I think that what I do like, and it is shit, you're right, it's a terrible. What I do like is the whole idea, and I'm sure you've done the same. Me and you've played football when we were younger. We played football together, didn't we? Like 5-a-side and stuff. But you know, when you get someone who is so superior, like there's a point where because he's so good, the team are not needed, are they? So they're not needed, and they've just been also runs. They've sort of like been the people you get picked last. Dave, we've all been there, getting picked last. I certainly have in football, you know, football terms. But you've got that like thing of like they start resenting him then because it's like you've absolutely fucking a big head. You're too good, basically. Well, yeah. And honestly, I'm sure you're the same, but I've got so many stories about like people who are just too good at football, but you don't enjoy playing with him. And I remember playing a game of football at work about 10 years ago. And there's a lad there and he played, he was literally professional level. And then I think he had like a couple of injuries and it just didn't work out for him. But when you played 5-a-side or you played like 11-a-side, it was great having him on your side for about 5 minutes because he was so good. And he was head and shoulders above everyone. He would use the ball. He was so quick and athletic, but he would use the ball. He would never waste his energy. You've done it yourself. I remember you played that 5-a-side stuff. I wasn't good enough to play that, funny enough, Dave, but you got to play that with the ex-Liverpool players. John Barnes were there. Grobbelaar was probably throwing the ball in his own net for a fucking free pie or something. But there was Jan Mulber, there was loads of good players there, weren't there? And you said at the time like, how good they were. But then this kid was so fucking greedy. Well, kid, he's the same age as me. Such a good player. But he was a greedy bastard. And whenever I play football, then with work, I wanted to play against him because it was just not enjoyable for the team that had him on because he would just get the ball and just take everyone on and score. It was like, oh, look, you've scored 5 goals in a row where you've not passed to anyone.
Yeah.
And it got so bad. There was him and this other lad who was really good as well. And they were just levering us in the game. There were a few ahead of us. We were still holding our own, but we had more of a team together. And I think in the end, we came back. I didn't probably beat us, but we came back where it was a competitive game. But it was that bad than being greedy. There was a lad on their team I worked with for 5 years in the same truck down here. He come in and fucking fouled this lad and just took the ball off him. You get JJB, used to get in the corner and everyone is just kicking the shit out of each other, like the Power League stuff. You get the balls and everyone would just be like, fuck, I used to have a pile on it. It was like a fucking, everyone's just flying with karate kicks. It'd be a big punch up or something, wouldn't there? How many times have we seen that? Especially when they played in the leagues. And he came in and fucking fouled him and took the ball off him and passed it to us. And this fucking lad's like, what the fuck are you doing? He went, you're a fucking greedy bastard. He said, it's fucking absolutely shit. You're supposed to play as a team. Honestly, Davy's head went after that. We ended up coming back. I think we still got beat. But it was that, watching this always, it's like, I know this was done before, but I think even as kids, you would get people who were so good at football, but they were just not enjoyable to play with because they'd either be moaning at you, giving you shit because you weren't as good as them, and they were like, they're used to playing with people at their level, or they were just so greedy and just like showing off. And I think that's what the one thing, as much as I think the movie's terrible, I do relate to it so much because I think as you get older, you're like, you're so athletically talented, and football was the main game. The only real game I ever played properly, and I wasn't very good at it. But then I always wanted to be against these players to try and not match up to them, but just because I felt that if you're the underdog and you've not got a ringer in there who's so good. There's no point. I remember playing against Ryan Giggs, his brother, years ago, and he was getting played, Rodri, and he's a fucking bellend. But what a player. He was like a Timu version of Giggs, same left foot, really fast, rapid, but he was getting paid by his Sunday League teams to play, and he used to play every week for different teams, but it was not enjoyable. On his team, you could just see they would just give him the ball. The managers were like, give Rodri the ball. And honestly, he was such a good player compared to us. I mean, God knows how gigged he was, as, playing professional. But I don't know. I don't get envious that they've got that talent. I almost feel sorry for him because it's like, but nobody really likes you because you're a greedy bit of a big head. I don't know. It's just, anyway, I've got on a tangent, but I just think that really does a bit of PTSD, a bit of counselling today, Dave. I just think it really sticks with me when Scott becomes full on bell end, basically.
Yeah, and I guess, and it is a quick movie, isn't it? You know, it packs a lot in there, and it does sort of play around with that idea that, you know, he does get a bit of a big head and you know, above his station, and then has to dial it back, and he's really trying to figure out who he is. But when you were saying that, I mean, yeah, definitely, especially at school level, some people are just innately just really good and have very talented feet. And that somehow gives them a higher social standing at school. But I was actually thinking, when you were saying there about just someone, or give it to Rodri or whatever, I was thinking FIFA 98, you know, just smash away at the triangle button if you had Michael Owen. He was just fast as fuck and he could just run around everyone. I don't know if you remember the old FIFAs where they hadn't quite figured out the sort of gameplay stuff yet. But yeah, and you know, you mentioned about that tournament, and it was good fun. And I think I think had I been about a foot taller, I think I'd have made an okay centre back. But the good thing with five-a-side is most of it's played on the floor, so that's why I was better at that level. But I'll never to the day I die, Chris, I will never forget. You basically, in this tournament, you got Liverpool legends who would basically fucking rotate on for your team. Now I was playing centre back. We were winning the game 3-0, and then Gillespie comes on. Fucking Gary Gillespie. I've watched this guy on a fucking Liverpool legend. I mean, let's ignore the Crystal Palace semi-final, but still remember he's tried to duck out the way and fucking let a corner in, and yeah, we got beat that day. But anyway, and yeah, they got 2 goals and the momentum had shifted, you know, and it was with them. And because he'd come on, I moved out of my centre-back sort of position over to the right. And he had the ball he was sort of left of centre. And so I ran out to the right wing. I'm just like, just give it here, because it was one of those, you just needed to run it into the corner. I'm like, right, I'm opening it. Like, and he obviously changed his mind. You know, he saw me late and then ended up doing this fucking P-roller right in front of our own goal. And the guy just fucking smashed it in. It was 3-0. 3-all. I'm still fucking bitter about that. I'm like, you're a fucking professional footballer and you just fucking cost us the win. So yeah, I've never really forgiven him for that. as you can probably tell, I'm still bitter.
I remember there's a guy, and it was one of the couples you can watch us play. They're not together now, but what's he called? Donna and Steve. And he played in our team. I don't remember him, Dave. He said, yeah, we played the sisters at the Barca bar. And Steve apparently had trials for fucking Bolton. He was he was a fullback. He was rapid. And then obviously one of our team members decided to bring him in as a ringer. So, he's going to play for us. He's unbelievable. This was at like 6-a-side, JJB Soccer Dome. So it's just indoor football. You know, it's content. I'm thinking he's going to be mustard. He's going to be like, so good, Dave. Fuck me, we could have had a trial at Bolton. They must have been on a hard time. He literally tripped over his feet. He had no football brain whatsoever. I remember thinking, and he had all the gear on. He looks like a bit of like a Ronaldo sort of, everything on. I'm thinking, he's going to be unbelievable. And he ran out there like fucking Bambi when he goes out and Bambi on ice. And I'm like, and I'm not a good football. I'm quite honest about that. But I'm like, holy shit, this is not who we thought we were getting. We thought we were getting like, don't know, a fucking Gary Neville or a fucking, for me, Dennis Hill, for you, you know, someone at a top fullback from your area, Liverpool or whatever. Yeah. And then what we got was just somebody who, he must have had a trial because he won a competition in the fucking Beano or something, because he had never played football in his life.
I wonder what the ratio is, though, of people who've had trials and people who say they've had trials.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an interesting comparison, but yeah, I mean, getting back to the movie, I mean,
the movie
it happens quite quickly, doesn't it? Where he gets his big head. That's where we were going off on the tangent. So, and then the thing is, the school bully is an absolute dick. right? He's a dick all the way through the movie. And then obviously, at the disco or the dance or whatever, he slashes his suit. And that's the thing that makes him think, oh, who am I really? I'm like, he fucking deserved it. So it all happened really quickly where he has this moment to think, oh, maybe, this isn't who I really am or whatever. But yeah, I kind of feel like the bully deserved it.
Yeah, Mick's a dick. And the thing, Mick's a dick now. But the thing is with that, it sort of like turns everyone against him. It's sort of like
fickle bastards.
Yeah, because he's become big-headed. I think people are just like, we're sick of it now. He comes in and he's doing the dancing and all that sort of thing. And I mean, even the stuff with Booth, I'm just jumping back slightly, Dave. I always love that bit where they were in the closet together. There's something about that actress.
Pretty sexy, isn't it?
Yeah. Really, as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, that's
getting some stirrings there.
Yeah. I wish I could play that sort of game with my female friends. Well, anyway, Dave.
Harold was in the back somewhere.
Yeah, Harold was in there playing fucking twos up or something. Yeah. Oh, she's lovely, Boo. But yeah, it just sort of. That scene sets it up, doesn't it, where he sort of gives his head a wobble and he's sort of like, nobody likes the wolf, did he? His dad sort of left him. His dad even said about him when he's doing the whole surfing thing and he's doing the handstands and he's like, yeah, I never saw you. And he's getting a bit distracted, the whole character thing with Styles and that. And I think when we get to the actual basketball game and he's late and he's Scott in here and obviously Pamela's not interested in him. He's had sex with her at one point and she's like, yeah, you're not going to be my boyfriend. Mick's my boyfriend. He's like, yeah, but in your dressing room. He's like, yeah, well, what is the wolf? I mean, it's funny that because she takes his virginity, but he is Scott at that point, in it. But anyway, he had a bit of a growl, Dave, so I presume he got his werewolf lob on. But the basketball game feels like they shot all the basketball games in one sequence because he looks exactly the same. Marty, I'm just going to call him Marty. You're right, Scott. It is just Marty. And that whole thing where he's like, we can win. And then Chubbs throws a free ball. He throws a free. And he's like, yes, right, we can do it. And they get so close, don't they? Even that, there's no jeopardy to it, is there? Like, he basically they've gone from nothing and it's almost as if to say, yeah, the wolf got us here. He says the wolf got us here, but it's you guys as the team. Well, they were fucking shit at the start. They couldn't even play basketball, but all of a sudden they're like the fucking Harlem Globetrotters and they can just fucking take people out. I'm not having it at all. The whole scene.
I love the Harlem Globetrotters.
Fucking spinning him on his finger, Chubbs his hair, eating a fucking salami sandwich while he's spinning the ball with his other hand. It's fucking nonsense, isn't it? At the end, it is. And what you said, it happens so quickly. There's just so much missing out of this movie that might have made it a bit better and give us a bit more. There needs more character building, but I can see why Michael J. Fox fucking hates this movie because honestly, I am so disappointed in this. Watching this all these years later, I knew it was never going to go to the top, but I thought it'd be something where it'd be like, you know what? The nostalgia of it is still a great movie. It's fucking shit. It really is shit. And Scott is not a likable guy really till the end. Even then, I'm not liking him. I don't know. There's just something off about this whole movie to me.
See, again, though, I'm just going to come back to the innocence of the 80s and the parallel with No Retreat, No Surrender. So basically, you can study with the ghost of Bruce Lee for about a week and basically fucking take out the mafia Russian hitman or something, you just, and basically kick everyone's ass. Here, you just have to believe in yourself. That's it. No basketball skills, no drills, late night practices or anything. Just believe, man. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And then you can be great at basketball. It's fucking ridiculous, but I kind of love it. So, I mean, what I would say, though, they clearly, they must have shot the basketball scenes for hours, but they didn't have much good footage. There's a bit where Michael J. Fox, he kind of makes a pass round his back, to someone else, and someone else scores the points. And, they use that several times. But the thing that took me out of it is the awful song that goes on for fucking ages to accompany it. It's like, I've got to win in the end. win. I've got to win in the end. And all the lyrics are just so ridiculous. And it's like, come on, mate. Let's have a bit of jeopardy. We don't know that they're going to win at this point. It's just, I don't know. It's just terrible. I think that they're obviously just trying to copy all those kind of 80s anthem montage type songs. But yeah, it's pretty terrible.
It is. It's awful. So, Dave, shall we get into our scores?
Let's go.
So I can only apologise, Dave. I'm so disappointed in this. I feel I've wasted my pick, and it is a terrible movie. There's just nothing redeeming about it. Watching it all these years ago, I will not watch this again. I wish I'd left the nostalgia in the late 80s, early 90s when I loved this movie. It's absolutely garbage. So it's not worst thing I've ever seen. So I'm going to put it in Elm Street, Dave. But my God, Michael J. Fox just about saves the movie, but there is just nothing redeemable about it. And it feels, and you said like low budget movie, you're right, 4 million it was. It made 80 million. It was a critical, well, not critical, it's a commercial success, but my God, it is not aged well 40 odd years later. So yeah, what a terrible movie. And I think I'm going to have to inflict the second one on us, Dave, because I think that might give us more laughs, because that is an awful movie. I think it's about 10% of Rotten Tomatoes. So Dave, hit me with it, my friend.
So I feel like, again, not all, but some of the older movies like this, they just have iconic moments. So, the change, the meeting of the dad, the surfing along with the Beach Boys soundtrack, it's kind of, it lives in your memory, and then your memory fills in the blanks. But there really wasn't much else to it at all. And like I say, I think the surprise for me is just how small it was. I mean, I kind of felt like it would have been some kind of basketball tournament, across the region or across the state or something like that. No, it's literally all in school. So yeah, and like you say, Michael J. Fox, I don't know, is he at the peak of his powers? It is pretty damn close to it. I mean, in the mid-80s, he was basically the biggest star around, wasn't he? So I do think he's not quite as charming as Marty, but I do think it's still Michael J. Fox. I think he does a stand-up job here. Plot, terrible. As you know, plot, very thin. Like I say, it's just a one-note joke. That's it, and it's just sort of playing around with that one idea. So yeah, I thought it probably wouldn't stand up. I don't think it does stand up that well. The nostalgia as well for me is going to keep it up there, though. I am going to put it in Elm Street, possibly higher and closer to Hill Valley than yourself. But yeah, probably won't be watching this one again either.
So Dave, as it's your birthday, it's your pick. What are we going to be doing next week? Because I ain't got a clue what we're doing. So I've not looked at the diary or anything, Dave. And I've sort of left it on purpose because you usually shaft me with some sci-fi sword and sorcery bollocks. So come on, hit me with it.
Well, it is Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. No.
Searching for that for years.
At some point, I will do that one, though. Chris, I guess going back to a movie like Teen Wolf, which was so big for us in the mid-80s, I want to go back even further in time, to a time when obviously we weren't around when it came out, but it was always on the TV. And I don't know about yourself, but I definitely recorded this one onto the blank Scotch tapes and rolled it out every now and then. We've done some fucking interesting movies. I saw Santa Sangra just flash up on my Instagram the other day. It's like, oh, fucking hell, I forgot about that one. Things like that, The Night Porter. I am going wholesome, Chris, because this movie came out in 1964, was on TV at least every Christmas, if not every Easter, fucking through the summer, all kinds of times through the year. And we are going to go back to Mary Poppins.
Oh, there you go. I have watched this millions of times as a kid. I love Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Oh, and we could do Dick Van Dyke's impressions.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
I mean, the
honestly,
trailer is basically there, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, I mean, this movie means so much to me. I may have to pick one of my movies in my back pocket that's meant a lot to me as a kid, Dave, for the next one. If we're going wholesome, I'm getting all, teary-eyed maybe. But yeah, Mary Poppins is a Phelps Rainey's, my mum's maiden name. My Nana Rainey's used to put this on all the time as a kid. That I've watched this so many times, Mary Poppins. You went to the cinema to watch the Emily Blunt one, Dave. Oh, I love Mary Poppins. Oh, let's do it.
Then let's go. Oh, fucking getting little goosebumps here.
I love this movie. Oh. Oh,
doesn't feel like this is the original trailer, but it'll do.
No, it'll do.
I'll no doubt have to take the music out, though, I'm afraid, if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep. Tuppence, Dave, tuppence.
Yeah, old Piers Morgan there, doing the bird lady.
Come on with me.
Oh.
Here we go. Expialidocious, even though the sound of it. Oh, yes.
I've not watched this for years, you know.
I watched it
can't wait.
3 or 4 years ago. Love it. Helps go down. It's a very good look you want to be Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Perfect in every way.
Stepping time. I always wanted to be a chimney sweep, Dave. Chim. Oh, amazing.
So many amazing songs, isn't there?
Top film. I love the penguins, me. This bit when they're doing the horse racing. Oh,
amazing stuff.
You have pulled this out of the fire, my friend. Absolutely pulled this one. I can't wait now. I love Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I mean, I've not watched it for years. I watched the one about the making of it with Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney. Don't know if you've seen that one.
No, I've not seen that one, no.
Yeah, so I've seen that one more recently than the actual Mary Poppins itself. So, I can't wait. But I tell you what, going through that trailer and hearing all the amazing songs, I'm literally gushing about it already. So let's see how we go.
Oh, can't wait. So thank you for picking that, mate. Honestly, you've saved me from the impending sci-fi sword and sorcery stuff that you just stitch me up with. No, I'm really excited about that. That's it's a bit of a favourite as a kid. That so looking forward to it. But if you do want to email us, the VHSStrikesBack@gmail.com. If you follow us on social media at VHSStrikesBack. And if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. And a massive thank you to all our supporters over there. They've just recently released The Night Porter, which is our latest late fees movie. So please get over there. Just watch it.
It's not 1974. It's
Oh, it's not.
The Mist. The Mist is delayed one as well. On from 2007.
That's it. It's left an indelible mark on me, The Night Porter. Cheers, Spider John.
That was last week's regular.
That was last
review,
week. It was. I remember now. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, The Mist. Anyway, The Mist is. Yeah. Just watch that. That's all I'm going to say. But yes. Anyway, the roll call of honor. Big thank you to Graham, Matt, Reese, Nick, Greg, Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Tim, Matt Hales, Ken, Lucky Louie Green, Herbs Jack, Math Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much for your support, guys. Amazing stuff. And Dave, I realised I probably should have pulled a song out of my back pocket, but I haven't. So what have you got this week, my friend?
I was going to ask you because I was going to say, because it's your pick, you do like to do the songs, and I was going to ask you, so how did you get on this
Yeah,
week?
I completely forgot, as usual, didn't I? So we sat here, and I was like, do I just pull it out the fire and do a quick, as we're recording song? But then I was like, no, I'm sure you've spent hours doing one, Dave, so.
I thought I would do a backup one, just in case.
Just as well you did.
But yeah, so for this one, I even though I scored it a bit lower, there is that nostalgic warmness that I feel, and just even though I think that win in the end is terrible as a song, it sort of makes me feel warm inside about just that 80s kind of montage feel to it, you know. So yeah, I've gone for this one. Again, nice sing-along chorus. So here we go.
17, small town, not much to show. Bench on the Beavers, losing by a mile or so. Got my eye on Pam, she don't look my way. Too busy with Mick, being king of the play. Moves right there, but I don't quite see. Too busy wishing someone noticed me. Then one morning, something new to declare. Let's just say there was more there. Fuzzy, confidence too. Suddenly I'm doing things I never could do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm a teen wolf. Things are changing, can't say where. Whoa, I'm a teen wolf. Let's just say there's extra hair. Dad says it's normal, won't say much more. Just hands me a razor and points to the door. Says runs in the family, gives me that stare, like he's been dealing with his extra hair. Style says, mate, we can work with this. Next thing I know, it's merchant bliss. Wolf fever spreading everywhere. Turns out people really like the hair. Scoring points, crowds in a trance. Even got Pam giving me a second glance. Wolf, wolf, wolf. I'm a teen wolf. Things are changing, can't say where. Wolf, I'm a teen wolf. Let's just say there's extra hair. Woo! Oh, yeah. On the court, I'm hugging the show. Teammates fuming, but the wind still flow. Mick's getting rattled, throwing cheap shots. I'm soaking up cheers, forgetting what's what. Booth steps back, Lewis looks scared. Turns out fame's a bit much when it's shared. Even when things seem beyond repair, you can't blame everything on the hair. Dance night comes, who do I choose? Be the wolf or walk in my own shoes? Booth says come as you, simple and fair. Not just a version with the added flair. Wolf, wolf, am I just the wolf? Or the kid underneath all the hair? Wolf, 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 I'm a teen wolf. Things are changing everywhere. Wolf, I'm a teen wolf, but I don't need the extra flair. Wolf, I'm a teen wolf. Win or lose, I'll still be there. Wolf, I'm a teen wolf. Maybe less about the hair. Turns out she liked me before the hair. Wolf!
Fairly good. So you can just see it at the end of the movie, and again, I just feel wholesome. So obviously, there's a lot of hair jokes in there, but yeah, I just kind of liked it for that nostalgia. But definitely can't wait for next week as well. We're gonna have lots of terrible Dick Van Dyke impressions. I am sure of it. But thank you very much, sir. Great chat today, even though we didn't like the movie as much. Always a great chat. And thanks to all our listeners out there, of course. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time. Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
ring the bell?
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Maybe you're crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you at 6 more.
I must break you.